What's going on YouTube? It's Aaron here, and in this video I'm going to go through all like the high value questions that I've asked and that other people's asked that's earned them, maybe $100, maybe $20, and break them down to its very bare bone essence, and the fundamentals of these high value questions and how you can ask questions that are always worth 10, 20, 30, 100, maybe even like $500 questions. So let's get right into it. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Aaron and I make videos about the QUORA partner program on just how to earn money from it and how you can improve your earnings. But since I don't really believe that's a great side income to have or a great full-time income, I also do Facebook ads, which is my main side hustle that I'm working on and I'm building up. So if you like either of those things, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Especially with the SFMA and Facebook ads, I'll show you how to find clients and how you can make money running Facebook ads for them, so that way you can get paid $1,000 plus, $1,500 plus dollars. And along with this money that you make from the QUORA partner program, you can make a lot more money with doing Facebook ads and having your own SMMA agency. So let's get into what about these questions made it so popular and made it super high value. So this is my highest earning question so far. What is the most inappropriate experience you've had with your friend's husband? So what's with this question that made it, blow up and has earned me $100? I remember when I first filmed this video, this was at $46 when I first asked this question, and now it's still slowly gaining up and it's still earning me money every single day. So what about this question, is making it, explosive? So let's think about it. Inappropriate. So let's be honest with ourselves. People love drama for the most part, right? No matter how much you say you don't like drama, if you just overhear something about, someone that you vaguely know, if you just hear like, oh, some weird thing happened, like peeping over in the bathroom, stuff like that, that's going to intrigue your mind. That's going to get you interested. So when I say what's the most inappropriate inexperience, inappropriate, anything, sexual or, anything within that manner is always top news. Just think of, Mr. Clinton and like, his scandal with Monica Lewinsky. That was huge, huge news. And with your friend's husband. So when I say husband, that means marriage, right? So with marriage, people just think, okay, nothing else is supposed to happen between, two married people. And if an inappropriate thing, which when you think of inappropriate, you think of sexual automatically, let's just face it. I say your friend's husband, so that's someone that's outside of that, that marriage type of deal. So it's interesting, it's intriguing, like, ooh, what inappropriate thing has actually happened? So that gets people intrigued, and that gets people to, click on the question to see what's there. And, once they click on the question, they see the ads. As you can see, 54,000 ad impressions can't lie. And then let's go on to the next question, which didn't earn as much, but it still earned a good amount of money, better than like most questions on QUORA, because the average question earns like around like 2 cents for the most part. So what's the most inappropriate moment you've had with your own son? So this is, again, anything that's regarding family. Like there's a certain stereotype of how the relationship is supposed to be, right? If you can ask questions that somehow break that stereotype of what weird thing happened with your own son, like that's weird. Like if you have an inappropriate experience with your son, you're supposed to go fishing, you're supposed to go kayaking and all that fun stuff, but you're not supposed to have any inappropriate experiences. So questions that are unexpected but also intriguing as well. So these kind of questions here, what school items starts with a B and ends with a K, I see them a lot on QUORA, and I've seen a lot of these questions, and I honestly, with these questions, they're very easy to ask, because you can just think of, you can just look around your room and just think of an object and just be like, okay, this object starts with an A and then ends with an E, and then you can ask that. But usually these questions, they get a lot of views but not a lot of ad impressions. But one thing you can do with this is, people usually just ask what item starts with B and ends with K. I asked what school item starts with B and ends with K. So you want to sometimes just go to a certain topic if you want to ask those types of questions. So you can say, oh, what kitchen utensil starts with F and ends with K? and you want to make it something similar. You want to make it something that's easy, so that way you get more and more answers, and the more answers you get, the more likely you're going to earn, because the more ad impressions are going to be seen. So let's see. This one's actually kind of a really popular one, and it got a lot of ad impressions, but I asked this question, when the QUORA partner program was like just giving out lower earnings, as you guys seen probably with my video about that. So I mean, it's gotten 37,000 ad impressions, but look at this. This is what's weird about the QUORA partner program sometimes. 37,000 ad impressions over that, and it's $11. This one got 2,000, and it's $13. That's most likely because the type of ad that they showed was more high value in this question than in this question, but I can't say for certain. But with this one, this one was really popular because it got a lot of answers. Because let's break down this question. What are some signs your child threw a house party when you were away? So this one is kind of intriguing and comical, because like, oh, what are like the signs that like your child think that was able to like get away with throwing a house party? Because it breaks the common stereotype. Like, children, especially their parents' sons or daughters, are not supposed to throw house parties. So the fact that they threw a house party and maybe they think they get away with it, but it turns out they actually didn't, because a lot of these answers, they're actually really funny. So like, I'm not gonna go through these answers, but these answers are actually like really, really funny. Of like, they saw like some like completely obvious signs that the child threw the party. And yeah, this one, okay, so this is another type of question that does really well. So any question that helps people make more money also does really, really well. So one of the top questions that earn like, $600+, how do you turn $100 into $1,000 online? And that question did really well because everyone wants to know how to make money online nowadays for the most part, right? So besides that, it's directly just relating to this question is just catching up onto a trend. So I saw on the news, or like Upwork, since I'm on Upwork, sent me an email. They're saying that they're going to make people pay for connects now, because at this point they didn't make people pay for connects at all. And I knew that, okay, like why is Upwork making people do that? So I had that question in my own mind, and I'm like, you know what, let me just ask this question on QUORA, and it's earned me, it hasn't earned me a lot of money, but it still earns $10+. So okay, so those are just the breakdowns of my questions. So let's go through the breakdowns of everyone else's questions. So pretty much I'm on the question value insights tab over here, and this is just pretty much just giving you an overall insights of how the best questions that were asked on QUORA, a year ago, 6 months ago, and a month ago. And it shows you like the average question value of a year ago is 33 cents. We don't want that. So we want to break down these $100+ questions just so we see what works. And usually what a lot of people do is they go for like a month from now. They used to have like a week from now questions, but they got rid of that. So I like to go to like a month ago from now, because I see what's working currently right now. So I don't usually like to do 6 months. So I'll usually look at a year ago or a month ago, because with a month ago, you can see what's currently working right now and what can, generate you a good amount of money right now. But if you go to a year ago, you can see what type of questions that last longer. So like, if you can break those down, and like, you're willing to wait a long time for that question to grow. But think about it, it's completely worth it. Like, imagine just asking imagine asking this question: since you can eat steak rare, can you eat burgers rare too? And then just asking that one question, you earn $2,000 from that. That's like a month's rent in Boston for the most part. And in some places, that's like rent for the entire like year. Like, that's amazing. And that's just asking one question. So I'm going to first break down some of the a month ago questions. And I only really look at the $100 plus or the $10 to $100 ones, because these are like measly questions that like I don't really care about for the most part. But however, they may actually build up. So feel free to go through those questions. But you do want to just focus on the $10 to $100 questions. So let's break down this one first, and then I'll go to like, the $2,000 questions that people have asked. So how old in human years is Baby Yoda in Mandalorian? At this current time, the new Star Wars show came out, and there's a character called Baby Yoda, and there's a bunch of memes on it. You've probably seen it on the internet. And Baby Yoda, I think, is like 50 years old, not in human years, but in like some Star Wars years. And this person took advantage of that. This person took advantage of, Baby Yoda is now very, very popular because Baby Yoda is a huge, huge meme at this point. And they're asking something that, people are actually going to be curious about. Because if you've watched Star Wars before, like the original Yoda is like 1,000,000 years old or something like that, comment below his real age. Not many people know how old Baby Yoda is. So that's something you can do. So you can take something that's popular and ask a curious question about it. Even if it's your own curious question, then you can definitely ask about it. And then the next one is, do you know anyone who regretted adopting their child? So this one's just completely out of the norm because, everyone thinks child adoption's, great, all happy go lucky. But this question is asking, do you know anyone that, maybe he's not had a fun time, adopting a child? Usually with questions like these, people put in like full blown stories that are like actually really interesting actually. And people actually read through them, and then once they're reading through them, once they click on them, they're gonna see the ad. So questions like that that are just completely out of the norm, completely out there. So ask questions like that. What have you seen a non-developer do to make the most of his or her Google Cloud Platform free credits? So this is also a good one. So this is like, strategies of like how to, perform better, like how to, improve your Google Cloud Platform. And what's good about questions like these is that actually, let's click on it right now, actually. What's good about questions like these is that they're gonna have more high value ads. So how can I hire a great freelance talent over mediocre ones? This is the example of the ad. This is a high value ad because most likely the business here is gonna make a lot of money. If that person clicks on that ad and actually gets a freelancer there, they probably get a huge commission. And some of these freelancers charge like $1,000+. So they get a huge commission. Thus, QUORA is most likely gonna charge these people more because this is probably a targeted ad to me, and the amount of money that this business owner can make with this ad is more of value. So questions like these that are, about, SEO, digital marketing, or any ways to make money online or even offline as well, they're great questions. And let's completely break down this question. What have you seen a non-developer do? So this question's like, what have you seen someone who doesn't do developing at all? Like they don't do anything. Like they're a complete beginner. So me, who's also a non-developer, I'm like, oh, I want to make the most out of my Google Cloud Platform free credits as a non-developer, because I ain't a non-developer. I'm a Facebook marketer. I'm not a developer. So I'm going to go to this question, look at the ad, and then look at the answer. What's the most explicit scene you've seen on the beach when you were young? So this question has a lot of things because there has been questions like, what's the most inappropriate thing you've seen on the beach? Someone took that question and just modified it. They used a different word that you seen when you were young, and they used, a different time point. So that's a way you can, ask the same high value question, but, you just add a little bit of a spin on it, but it's still high value. So instead of saying what's the most explicit scene that you've seen on the beach when you were young, you can say what's the most explicit scene you've seen on a tourist group during a tourist tour when you were a teenager, something like that, right? So you can just modify these questions a little bit since you understand the fundamentals of them. And if you want to go bare bones fundamentals with this one, explicit, again, we're getting to the inappropriate, and we all like inappropriate, we all like drama stuff. It is what it is. And when you were young, because young people aren't supposed to see these explicit scenes, these explicit images. We're only supposed to see, Disney cartoon movies and all that, appropriate stuff. We're not supposed to see anything explicit. So questions like that are like, ooh, this is interesting. Again, it's combining elements of, just human nature and life that just make us curious and make us want to dig further. Okay, so that's all. So that's pretty much just me breaking down, that's what's working right now. So if you can understand the fundamentals of what's working right now, then once you understand those fundamentals, you can ask the questions and, even just modify the ones that you see here, because that's what I do to ask my high value questions as well. So let's go to a year ago and let's go to the $100+ question. So these are questions that that they may not, take off now, but boy, when they do take off, they're gonna earn you a lot of money. So this question is, since you can eat steak rare, can you eat burgers rare too? So this question is pretty much just taking, a common concept, a common thing from one scenario, from one, from one definition. So like you can get your steak rare and just putting it in something that's similar but not that different so it makes sense. So since you can eat steak rare, can you eat burgers rare too? So most people get their burgers, medium rare. And this person just asked him a question. Since people eat steak rare, that's a common thing. Can you do that common thing with burgers as well? So that's the breakdown of this question. And this question has earned $2,200 in the year plus it's been there. So this question is $600, is what file systems do cloud storage solutions like Dropbox and Google Drive use? So breaking down this question, this is awesome actually. So this is going to like, how does Dropbox and Google Drive just work? Like what system do they use? Like how are they able just to store that cloud system? Like how are they able to do it? So that's just like something that and the big thing with this question is we all know what Dropbox, we all know what Google Drive is. It's a popular thing. And this person asked the question of, okay, how are they doing that popular thing? Like what systems are they using to do that popular thing? And note, they don't just ask, how do Dropbox and Google Drive work? They're using like specific measurements as specific titles as well. Like what file systems do cloud storage solutions like Dropbox and Google Drive use? So that way people, even people who aren't really like, developers or know file systems well, I'm still gonna want to know. Like I'm gonna click on this question later and like figure out like what kind of file systems, what kind of structures do these people use so that Dropbox and Google Drive can have the cloud storage that they have. What's the most satisfying thing you've done in the bedroom? Again, this is sexual, inappropriate, not mainstream. So anything that's really not mainstream at all, or not like formal, not appropriate, those questions always do well. When is the Avengers Endgame DVD release Blu-ray? This is just a common question that everyone's gonna ask. Like everyone knows what the Avengers is. Everyone like loves that movie. They want to know when it's on DVD and Blu-ray. So this is just a question that people are just most likely going to Google. And then this question, had its time definitely when the Avengers came out. How do you become a CEO, VIP, or MC president in GTA Online? So this is just a question about video games, like, how to rank up and like how to exactly do that. And of course, this question is a year old and it's earned $300, which is pretty nice. Just asking how do you become a rank in a video game. So I can see why this question didn't slowly take off. It took, this long just to earn this amount of money, because it's like a question that people will have, but like not everyone's going to have it all at the same time. They didn't catch onto a trend. And this one, is a juicy one. How do you check if you are in someone's close friends list on Instagram? So this is like, a question that brings out curiosity. And also, this is something that people just want to know in general. So if people, they see the close friends things on Instagram, but they aren't sure who else is their closest friends, like on their friends list on their Instagram. So it's just a question that people are just generally gonna have because it's a feature that, Instagram didn't explicitly say. They didn't, specify how do you know that, or like they didn't specify, the close friends list and stuff like that. So this is just a question that just people are just gonna have because Instagram is a popular network and it's a feature that Instagram just never explained, because I have Instagram and I never heard of this. I don't know how to check that, and it's just something that people just would want to know. And yeah, so that's pretty much, I can go through this all day. I can do a live stream about this actually. Comment below if if you like this breakdown, please let me know in the comments below. And I can definitely just do a live stream of just me just going through the questions and just breaking them down to their bare bone fundamentals, their bare bone facts. So that way you exactly know what about a question is making it earn $2,000. What about a question is making it earn, $20 after like a month? And what about a question, is like, making it earn $100+ in a week? So with all that said, thank you for watching this video. Click on the video I have up there that's gonna explain why your earnings have dropped ever since you've joined the QUORA Partner Program now, and what you can do to make sure those earnings stay at tip top shape. I'll see you guys in that video.